Good afternoon, all my Jeep creepers out there. So what are we doing today? I'm gonna have some fun with the old pellet stove. And just so there's no hurt feelings, this pellet stove behind me is a Slim Potato Head. He is the YouTuber that I mocked this design after. He did a very fantastic job. He's a handy guy. Check out his channel. I love the guy. So anyway, what are we doing? Well, we're gonna test this thing out. I wanna get, at least for my pellet stove, everybody's is gonna vary just a little bit. I wanna figure out how many cups per hour my gravity fed pellet stove runs on. Not exactly sure. I haven't really ran really long tests on it yet, and I wanna see how this works. Also, I'm gonna be using the bottom oven there and cooking. I'm gonna take some temps. I have a oven thermometer, and I also have this little handy guy right here, infrared thermometer. So we get to do a little experimentation today. So let's take a look at this thing and see what this is all about. All right, for you who are possibly new to the channel, what is this? Well, this is a pellet stove. What is a pellet stove? Just a brief overview, okay? These are pellets, wood pellets. You can buy them for smoking meats or for heat. And any hardware store or rural supply, tractor supply, whatever you want, will carry them. In case you didn't watch my previous videos, what do we have? I've got a fireproof window. I've got a little oven door that opens up so you can cook in it. And that just locks with that. This side opens up. This is a little damper that I made, and that opens up like so. I've got a removable ashtray you can pull out, and oh, my glue came off. Now that'll be a repair that we'll need to do. But in there I have a little basket that holds pellets. So let's load this thing up and get it running. That's a bummer on that. I use the fire glue for the wick, and did not hold very well. I see a lot of people not even using it, so we'll look at that a little bit later. On top, I've got a flue damper. I just want to show you down in there so you can see the basket. Down in the hole, there's a little basket down there, and that's what holds the pellets. All right. So, I guess I can show you the inside too really quick. This is just kind of a recap. Everybody else that's seen this will know what I'm doing, but there's my basket. Right in the middle is a wall, and basically this basket heats up and it forces the flame around, kind of like a jet stove, and up and out the flue, so it traps a lot of heat. So let me put that back in there. It's a tight fit. And this is all inside of a 50 caliber or a FAT 50 ammo can. So if you want to build one of these, you know, for sure you can. Not terribly hard. Parts that I used. That basket is just regular wire mesh that you can get at a hardware store. All of my pipes, this is just automotive exhaust. And yes, before you guys say anything, I realize this is galvanized. Burning galvanized steel releases chemicals, yada yada. Eventually I'm going to just bake these in a really hot fire and to get all the galvanization off. But for the meantime, I'm only using this outdoors, so it's safe enough for me. So that just slides on there. This is my gravity feed, so I can really load this sucker up with pellets. And then I made a cap. It just pops on the top there. I notched this out a little bit for my flue. Let me turn this up a little bit so you can see the whole thing. And then I've got a nice long piece because I was instructed by one of my users my draft wasn't good enough because I wasn't really pulling in air very well. You see how tall that is now. It's pretty tall. Let's look back at the stove. The reason why I have a longer pipe now, I mean, I always intended to have a longer pipe, but for testing I was having a hard time even during the test procedure. The flame wasn't staying lit very well, and my damper should be lower, not this high, so it gets under the flame. So there's some room for improvements. What I've been doing is just leaving this cracked open, and then, you know, the flame goes pretty well. So without further ado, let's get this thing lit. All right, I'm going to start off with a measuring cup. I'm going to use 2 cups of pellets just because it's easy and it'll stay lit long enough without me having to reload it right away. I'm not sure what this tube holds, but I'm sure it is quite a bit. Oh, and this is just a pet food container, very handy. All right, so we're gonna load our 2 cups of pellets. Maybe I'll invest in a funnel or something, like a metal funnel to fill this. I don't know, we'll see. To get a pellet stove to light right away, you're gonna wanna use a torch of some sorts, because it just takes way too long. You could probably use like a fire starter or something like that, but pellets, as I show you here in a second, they just don't catch on fire and start burning. You gotta really get it going. So let's get my torch going, and then open up my flue. I forgot which orientation my flue goes in. So when it's vertical, or when it's horizontal, the flue's open. Okay, easy peasy. Oop. All right, let's get my torch started. There's a lot of gas left in this thing. I haven't used it in a while. Now, this thing is not sounding too healthy, but got enough gas to get her going. And I'm just going to superheat the very bottom here. So what it'll do is it'll start to catch, and I'll have a good flame, and then I'll get a little bit of coal in there, right? So it has enough to keep reigniting, basically. Now you could light this with a regular lighter, but for demonstration purposes and just because I have a nice propane torch available, we're just going to do it the quick and easy way. I think I got it going. Got a lot of smoke, so that's good. Alright, let's see if I got enough to get a jet going. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Let's give it a few minutes to get started. You can see it's cool. It's a cool flame, so I got a lot of smoke off the stack. All right, well, at least I've got a flame now. And let that burn for a little bit, get more hot coals going. It's starting to take off. So you can see on this side right here, see the flame getting drawn in quite a bit. That's what you want. It's kind of like a jet stove or anything else that pulls flames. So this thing is a pretty good light source, and you can bake on it, you can cook on it, which we'll demonstrate here in a minute. All kinds of stuff. This is a good sign right here. Smokestack is not smoky that much, so that means we've ignited it pretty much. And then I just always got to adjust this door just right so it increases the draw. And the way you can do that is you can kind of watch your flame here and adjust your door. See, if you close it all the way with a thin close, it dampers down, but if you open it all the way, it still kind of works, but it's kind of good just cracking it. All right, so now that we got that going, let's take some preliminary temperature readings. Let's see, right by where the flame is, we're already at 230 degrees, pretty good. On top, hasn't quite gotten the heat up there yet. 129 up there, 230 right there. So she's warming up right now, guys. And then I doubt the oven has any temperature, but let's check it anyway. So on the bottom plate of the oven, yeah, 56. And it's gonna be the top plate. So it's almost like a broiler, right? Because all your heat comes from the top. But we'll let that get good and warm. Then we'll pop in my oven thermometer and try it out. For right now, I guess we can just sit and relax. You know what I'm going to do too? Just for more measurements, I'm going to call this at an ignited state, and it's warming up. And we're starting to burn pellets. So I'm going to start my stopwatch right there. So we'll check back on that in a little bit. Well, the one thing I should do is put my cap on. This is on my pellet feeder. I don't think that's really necessary to do, but just so it's not pulling oxygen from the top or start accidentally exhausting from this pipe, I wanted to have that on there. And it looks like it also increased my draw quite a bit because it can't draw from here anymore. It has to draw out the exhaust where I want it to go. And this, you can see it wrapping the flame literally almost all the way around that plate that I have that's dividing it. So that's really good. All right, well, that's getting going pretty good. I got this awesome coffee cup. Got a nice compass on there. And the thing I love about it, look at that. It's got a carabiner on there. That is too cool, eh? And I'm gonna set this right on top. Start making me some, not coffee, I'm gonna make hot chocolate. Let's see, record my water temp. Water temp's currently 60 on the water. And the surface is 263, 265 degrees. Oop. See if I can show you. Well, it's hotter on the front. It's 400 there. By the flame chamber, it's about 300. So right there, about 270. So I'm gonna bring that to a nice piping hot temperature, and then we'll make some hot chocolate. For the oven, I have just your standard run-of-the-mill oven temperature thermometer. Whew, that's hot. Let's see here. Let's see what kind of temp we got in there now. Maybe just on the bottom plate we'll read. All right, so it's 94 degrees on the bottom plate, but the top plate is the one we're really caring about. That is also at 265 on the top plate. I don't know if this will even fit in there. Oh, it does, just barely. And I can set it up. You can kind of see the temperature in there. I'll let that warm up and get that nice and toasty, because what I'm going to cook, something just very simple. Microwave pizza from Kroger. 3-minute microwave. I'll see how many minutes in a pellet stove. I got a nice dish that I bought that fits in this. And we're going to use that to do our cooking. Let's see, it's only been 6 minutes. And 340 degrees on the cooking surface. And it's only about 80 degrees inside our water. This is on full blast, this burn. Which I think I'm going to do, because this is going to be like a test burn. What you would want to do normally is dial this down, because this is full output, right? This is just going to burn right through our pellets in no time at all. So we'll figure out, I guess, a max burn and a min burn. Also, if you're new to outdoor stoves like this, or camping stoves, hot tent stoves, whatever you want to call it, one piece of advice I'll give you too: be careful on what you burn in these. Okay, definitely don't burn garbage, junk, because it creates soot on the inside. And also, I don't know if this is kind of for beginners, but try to stay away from sappy woods. Like pine has a lot of sap in it. I mean, you could dry it. Pine is nice because it pops a lot, but you want to make sure it's really, really dry. It creates more soot on the inside. Normally, with people that have stoves like in their homes and stuff like that, the most preferred wood are hardwoods. So you can burn like an oak or something, and that's like, one of the best woods you can burn. I think it'll burn a long time, and it burns hotter. So whereas if you use other woods that are soft, they burn up really fast. But anyway, enough of that jibber jab. All right, here's our frozen pizza. Let me go ahead and get that open. And I'll tell you too, this will probably taste better than in the microwave. All right, so this does not fit in my pan very good, so I'm gonna have to kind of break it down a little bit, like that, right there. Boom, now she fits. All right, this thing is getting good and hot. My ammo can's still smoking because it's still got a little bit of paint on it. Our oven thermometer, oh my God, that has not changed at all. I think that bottom foot has to be actually on that hot surface. So this may not be the best thing to test temperature with. It's hot to the touch, I'll tell you that. Let me see here. Try to read the bottom plate with this thing. All right, so it's heating up. Bottom plate's 122 degrees. Top plate, 350 degrees. Look at that. That's beautiful. Let's pop in our pizza. Lock that up. It's been 10.5 minutes. Let's see how our cooking surface is doing. 430 degrees almost. That's respectable. Side of the cup, 76 degrees. Bottom of the cup, only about 80 degrees. So we're getting there. Want to get that up to like, I don't know, at least over 100. So we'll let that sit on there some more. And I think that's the most ideal spot just because you can see the bluing. I got a lot of bluing there, so you know, it's a sign of it getting a lot of heat. All right. So the instructions on this says preheat oven to 375, so we're doing it at a lower temperature. That's 18 to 20 minutes at 375. So, you know, with cooking, if you can't hit the temperature you need to hit, it takes more time, right? So this pizza will probably be ready in a half hour, I'm guessing, close to 350. And that's a broil. It's not a full temp, all around temp. And I don't have this like super insulated either, so it vents. So there's energy loss. I didn't get too fancy with it. And holy smokes. I don't believe it, but I think I'm running out of pellets already. Actually, no, I'm not. They're just not heading down. Jiggle it a little bit. Whoa! I need to get a poking stick because I see a gap where my pellets are. I feel like there's a jam in the gravity feed. The nice thing to note too is this pipe, the gravity feed, is not hot. I can hold my hand on there. So just in case you're thinking I'm getting back combustion or something. Well, it didn't drop down, so maybe I'm just crazy and I didn't see it exactly right. So the gravity feed is working, it hasn't failed. But yet I'm having a fuel source issue. Okay, I can see what's happening. It's actually burning up my tube a little bit. The gravity feed started to fail. I need to work on this design a little bit, so I do need to poke that down a little bit. Okay, I got a little bit to feed. Let me show you what's going on here. You can see the flame kicked up because I got more fuel. Let's see in there. I got a jam. There we go. I don't know if it was the warming of the pellets that did that. Like when they warmed up, maybe they expanded. I don't know, but we appear to be back on track again. We got wide open flame again. I got some pellets to fill out of the basket. Appears I can close my door. I'm gonna open my damper. Try it with that. Okay, that's still pulling. Door closed, full damper. Close that. All right, we're back on track. Whoa! Gotta stop bumping that thing. I guess at least that's a good illustration of how hot she is, eh? And 289 degrees hot. I'm not gonna have any hot chocolate left if I keep spilling it. Still not getting a lot of heat in the water. Still about 80 degrees. Yeah, it's only like bath water. I'll try moving this more in the center. Let's see. So far we're at about 18 minutes. Well, outdoor temperature too is 40 degrees today, so let's take some more temps. Wow. The flame chamber is 770 degrees maybe. Hot. The top cook temperature is like 430, 450. The bottom of my cup is one, oh, it's getting up there. Kind of hard to read through water, I guess. It's in the 200s. The sidewall, about 109. Let me stick my finger in it, see how hot it is. And the water's cold to the touch. So it's not transmitting heat very well at all. It's not very efficient. This is not a cup that you normally would set on a stove. The handle's warmer than the water. Let's see what our time is. We're almost at a half hour now. Let's take a look at the pizza. It's been in there about 10 minutes. This is piping hot now. Oh, that pizza is cooking nice. It's a little bit more cooked on this side than that side, so I'm going to go ahead and flip the thing. Whew. Yeah, get a hot glove too. Probably put some sort of wooden handle or something that doesn't heat up on these things. I'll open my door a little bit. The flame is not full flamage. I will tell you too, this cup, it's not flat on the bottom. So I've got a lot of energy loss because I'm only heating the walls of the cup. I just thought of that. You want something with a real flat bottom if you're going to use it for a cooking cup. Like a kettle. A kettle has a lot of surface area, so it gets a lot of heat. So this is just kind of dumb. I thought I'd see if I could make that work, but you know, not so well. Let's see, our flame is kind of dying. What's going on there? I'm losing my draw. I'm gonna put the cap back on this. On the heat source. My coals are hot, but I'm not pulling a flame anymore. I wonder why. Got a lot of coals in there. Oh no, I'm actually almost out of fuel. So, flame goes out at approximately, I mean, you still got hot coals in there, but I would consider this out of fuel situation. So at, I don't know, let's just call it 33 minutes. I'm pretty much out of fuel. So I'm going to add another 2 cups on top of that to try to get a, to try to figure out like what a hot starting temp would look like. So let me get you up so you can see me put another 2 cups in there. Okay, 2 cups. Oh, I can smell that pizza cooking. We can also see if it the gravity feed doesn't fail as well when it's nice and hot. I haven't had a lot of burns on it. I'm gonna go ahead and put the cap back on there, and then I'm gonna blow on this until it gets back to flameage. I think that's when it's, well, it should be when it's at maximum temp. So there's still coals in there, it's just no flame. Let's get some flame. All right, I got a little bit of fire. See if I can get a draw started. All right, that should be good enough. I'll leave that door cracked again to get a good pull. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm getting a little bit of soot build up on the window, but I've got a pretty decent pull. Let's see if we lost any temps. I doubt it. So the burning chamber, well, it went down a little bit. We had a high of like 700, I think. So it's rewarming a little bit. Let's see the top. It's cooled down too. So we lost some, so you want that max flame going. Water is drying. We'll use a kettle next time. My pizza, holy smokes, I can smell that cooking away. Let me check on it before I burn the heck out of it. So that's what I'm best at, is burning stuff. Wow, not bad. Saved it just in the nick of time. Let's see how that bad boy tastes, all right? And go get a plate here. Waiting for the cocoa. I like a little crushed red pepper on my pizza. You can doctor up these little pizzas, microwave pizzas, and you got yourself quite a meal. Let's see if this is cool enough to touch. Sort of. All right, so the bottom's got a little crust to it. Top, a little bit blackened, but that's the way I like it. Is it good? Is it edible? Let's see what it tastes like versus a normal one. I've had this microwave pizza before, and I've cooked in the microwave. It's good. Cooked it in the air fryer. It's better. Let's see how it tastes sitting on an open flame or stove, whatever. Mmm. That's good. That's real good. So you want to cook a nice pizza in your stove? There you go. The one thing that I would recommend doing before cooking in it is actually cooking the chemicals off your stove. Get all that paint off first. Because now I'm getting kind of a, a little bit of paint kind of taste. Yeah. Not a good idea cooking in this yet until it's completely cured. So, lesson to you there. It's probably not healthy. It gives it a smoky flavor, but smoky from the stove. All right. And close this back up. Ooh, hot. And you can see on here the paint where it's coming off. You can see the line between the chamber there. So I need to like get this thing smoking hot. Maybe set it on some hot coals. So if you make one of these and you want to bake in it, keep that in mind. What I might do, actually a better idea, I might have some wood fires in there, or load it with some hot coals and then put some wood on it, and then just bake the living bejesus out of this thing. And that should get most of the paints, because you want it down to like bare metal, and it'll kind of get there. This is like the last layer, this kind of brown, light brown, and it'll eventually get to steel. So I didn't really think about that. The other thing too you want to definitely avoid if you can, and it's easy to, is get steel hinges, not galvanized. If you're going to get hinges that are not bare metal, these are called like welding ready or weldable hinges. They don't usually make these barrel locks weldable or plain steel because they rust, right? So they come in like black paint. That's better than nothing, but you want to burn the paint off. Let's see how my hot cocoa or lukewarm cocoa it's doing. All right, well, that's warm, and I don't think it's ever going to get hot. The bottom of my cup is hotter than the dickens, though, so that's too bad. But let's make a cup of hot cocoa anyway, and because I'm getting chilly. And my pizza, got a pizza fail. Need to redeem myself. I'm just using, well, the old R family hot cocoa with marshmallows, mini marshmallows. Gotta have marshmallows. Doubt they'll melt because my water is not that hot. Oh, this is cute. I forgot I had this. A little shovel. Mix that in there a little bit. Where's my spoon? There it is. Now I'm looking really bad. Let's see if my hot cocoa is good warm cocoa. I never know how much chocolate to put in there, and that was not enough. Do another shovelful. Cheers. Not bad. No funky taste like the pizza had from the paint. Got a little marshmallow. Not hot enough to melt it, but it's still tasty. Well, mixed all right. All right. Let's continue on and see how long 2 cups lasts. Again, on full blast with a hot start, which I'll call it. I got another jam. That sucks. So we need to prove that design. Okay. And never got the temps back up to where it was. About 500 degrees there. Cooking surface. Not too hot either. Now this could be a fuel issue. I'm not getting enough fuel. So I want to work on that. I'm going to work on that design for the basket. I think the hopper backs up a little bit, and I have to, you know, ram some steel down there every once in a while. I get it, keep it going. And that completely, you know, kills the point of having a gravity-fed stove if you can't just let it rock and roll, right? That's no bueno. So, for all you guys out there that are building one of these, you know, and thinking about doing something similar, I am open to suggestion, guys. Like I said, this design's not mine. I copied somebody else's design and tried to replicate it as best I could. I think the only difference between mine and Slim Potato Heads is I added a couple things like this little hinge for the door, and then I'm using car exhaust. Instead of, he used an old propane cylinder like this guy right here. Use one of these things, just cut it open, an empty one, which is a good idea too, you know. It's probably safer to use because it's steel, not treated. So let's check our time. Okay, so we're at 54 minutes. All right. Got as close as I could to a flame out scenario. Just coals in there, and we're at 1 hour, 22 minutes. Let's talk about some of our results. So our first run time, which involved heating the pellets using a propane torch, and it takes a little while to get it going. I had a run time with 2 cups of 33 minutes. The second time, run time, having a big old ball of coals and just dropping 2 more cups of pellets down. Believe it or not, I had more run time of 49 minutes. You know, give or take a couple minutes, right? So if you average the 2 out, with 2 cups, that's an average of 41 minutes for 2 cups, which is an average of 20 minutes per cup. That's what kind of burn time I'm getting. 20 and a half minutes per cup. First run time was 16 and a half minutes per cup. Second run time was 24 and a half minutes per cup. So that kind of gives you a base idea on what pellets burn at, and this is at max burn. You can do a lot of things to turn it down. Like I was running, you know, the flue wide open. I had my door propped, so I had maximum draw going. It ran at maximum pretty well. Some high temperatures we saw. The outside of the combustion chamber, I think the highest temp we saw was 700 degrees, but mostly it's around 500. The top cooking surface, I think the highest temperatures we saw were in the 400s, if I remember correctly. But in the averages, more like 300, which is not bad. I mean, you can definitely heat up a pot of coffee or a kettle or whatever. The oven, if I remember correctly, I think the highest temperature we saw was like 400 degrees. You know what? Let's check this. All right, what I'm going to do is just pop my results on the side here. Okay, So pros, you know, my design works okay. It's got a lot of improvement areas though. One is the feeder tube. It jams once in a while. And it's a pretty wide tube, and it drops down into a pretty big basket. But I think what's happening is the hotter, half-cooked pellets start to char a little bit, and then they start to stick and clump. And then it can stop the gravity feed situation. So I need to come up with a better gravity feed system. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet for that, but we'll figure it out. The other thing, cooking. I really need to bake all this paint off because my pizza tasted a little bit like burnt paint. Not good. So that was another negative. So we'll make a list here. What else? The water cup. So like I was saying, my water cup was kind of not flat on the bottom. It was kind of concave a little bit. So it wasn't getting very good surface conduction. So, you know, what do we do there? I'll just use something else. Not use a cup that's not meant to be sitting on top of a stove. I might get a kettle or whatever. Other things I mentioned in my earlier videos was the top damper. It's on the top of my door. I was talking about putting a lower one on. I might still do that, but I want to figure out the feed system first. The around my door, I have that fireproof, I don't know, it's called fire rope that you put on like doors for sealing. The glue broke and fell off, so I'm not too happy about that. I'll re-glue it, but I might actually look into not even using that and repositioning the door, so that's another possibility. Anything else? I did get a little bit of smoke up the feed tube, and it's somewhat airtight, so I'm going to call that a part of an issue with my draw not working well and probably the feeder not working too well, so I'm going to look into that as well. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with this stove so far. In upcoming videos, I will film the changes that I do to improve it, and then we'll test it again. Same test probably before, just a little bit different. I want to try a cup of hot chocolate and a frozen pizza and see what my results are and compare the numbers and see if I got some real improvements shown in the numbers. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed filming it, and we will continue to try to get this pellet stove optimal. All right, till next time, stay creepy.